You're planting wheat when the messenger arrives. Your hands are covered in soil, the good kind that crumbles between your fingers and promises a decent harvest. You're 32 years old. You've worked this land since you could walk. Your father worked it before you. The messenger doesn't care. The levy has been called. You have 3 days to report. Your wife doesn't speak when you tell her. She's already calculating how to bring in the harvest with just her and the children, how to manage the spring planting if you're not back by then, whether you'll be back at all. You've heard stories. Most men return, some don't. The ones who do return aren't always the same. You report to the assembly point with 80 other farmers, some you've known your entire life. Others are strangers from villages you've never visited. You're issued a spear, 7 feet of ash wood with an iron point and a shield. The shield is old. Someone carried it before you. You can see where repairs were made. You wonder if the previous owner survived to return it or if it was taken from his body. The march begins. 15 miles the first day. Your feet blister. You're strong from farm work, but farm work doesn't prepare you for walking in formation wearing equipment that wasn't designed for your body. The shield strap digs into your shoulder. The spear is heavier than you expected. By evening, your hands are cramping. There's no training. You're needed at the front immediately. An officer explains the phalanx, 8 ranks deep, shields overlapping, spears forward. You'll be in the 3rd rank. Your job is to push. The front rank does the killing. You provide weight and pressure. If the man in front of you falls, you step forward and become the front rank. The officer doesn't explain what to do if that happens. He assumes you'll figure it out or die trying. The battle comes on the 6th day. You've never killed anything larger than a pig. You've never seen a human being die violently. The phalanx forms. The enemy is 400 yards away, forming their own phalanx. They look exactly like you, farmers holding spears, standing in a line because someone told them to. The advance begins. You're walking toward men you have no quarrel with who have no quarrel with you. Someone decided this battle needed to happen. You don't know who or why, it doesn't matter. The distance closes, 300 yards, 200. You can see their faces now, they look terrified. You wonder if you look the same. Contact. The shield walls collide. The sound is worse than you imagined, wood on bronze, men screaming, bones breaking. You're pushing now, adding your weight to the formation. The man in front of you is stabbing with his spear, mechanical motions, over and over. Someone falls. You can't tell which side. You step forward to fill the gap. Now you're in the 2nd rank. You can smell blood now. Copper and iron, the man to your left vomits. The formation keeps pushing. You're stepping on bodies. You don't know if they're dead or just wounded. Your job is to push forward. You push. The battle lasts 30 minutes. Your side wins. You don't know why, something about the enemy's left flank breaking. 40 men from your formation are dead. You don't know how to feel about that. You helped kill people. You don't know how many. You try not to think about it. The harvest is already past when you return home 3 months later. Your wife managed to bring in maybe half of what you would have gotten. The family survived on less food. Your youngest son looks thinner. No one complains. You're alive. That's what matters. You plant wheat again the next spring. Your hands remember the soil. But sometimes in the middle of work, you remember the weight of the shield, the sound of the collision, the smell of blood. You keep planting. This is your life. The other thing, the battle, the killing, that was an interruption. Traumatic but temporary. You're a farmer. That's your identity. The violence happened to you. It didn't define you. Now you're a Roman recruit. 18 years old, farm background just like the other version of you. But this time the recruiter offers a signing bonus and steady pay. Your family's in debt, you sign. That decision ends your life as a farmer and begins something else entirely. Training camp. Day 1, the beatings start. Not punishment for specific failures, systematic violence designed to break your sense of self. You learn that pain is random and unavoidable, which means you stop trying to predict it and start obeying reflexively. Sleep deprivation begins immediately. You never know when you'll be allowed to rest. Your brain stops questioning commands because thought itself becomes too exhausting. Week 3, gladius training. You practice one motion, low stab, upward thrust into the abdomen, twist, withdraw, 8 hours daily on wooden posts. Your shoulder burns, your wrist swells, you keep practicing. By month 2, the motion is automatic. You execute it in your sleep. The dreams started in week 4. Month 3, the psychological break happens. You stop thinking of yourself as an individual. You're a legionary now. That's your entire identity. Your contubernium 8-man tent unit is your family. Not because you chose them, but because you've been conditioned to function as part of that unit or experience crippling psychological distress. The conditioning is sophisticated. Punishment is collective. If one man fails, the entire contubernium is beaten. This creates peer pressure more effective than any individual threat. You learn to monitor your tent mates constantly, correcting their mistakes before the centurion notices. You become each other's overseers. The system makes you complicit in your own oppression. Month 6, your first campaign. You're not experiencing battle the way that farmer did. You're not terrified. You're not questioning. When the centurion orders the formation to advance, you advance. When he orders you to hold position against superior numbers, you hold. Not because you're brave, because the neural pathways for disobedience have been systematically destroyed. The gladius training pays off. In close combat, you execute the programmed motion without thought. Low stab, upward thrust, twist, withdraw. Next target, you don't see faces. You don't process what you're doing as killing individual human beings. You're completing a task. The emotional distance isn't courage, it's successful psychological conditioning. After the battle, you don't go home. There is no home. The Legion is your home. You march to the next campaign, then the next. 16 years minimum service, often 25. You're not a farmer who experienced temporary violence. You're a professional killer whose entire existence is organized around systematic violence. The efficiency is remarkable. Roman legions defeat farmer armies consistently because farmer armies are composed of individuals experiencing normal human fear and making independent decisions. Legions are composed of men who have been psychologically reconstructed to execute programmed responses. You're not better at fighting. You're better at suppressing the survival instincts that tell normal humans to run from mortal danger. But here's the cost. After 16 years, you're discharged. Rome doesn't send you back to civilian life. You're psychologically incapable of it. They settle you in a military colony where you live under a former centurion in a century-based community. You can't form normal relationships. You can't make independent decisions. You can't farm, can't manage a household, can't exist outside military structure. The conditioning that made you an effective soldier destroyed your ability to be anything else. The farmer who fought one battle went home traumatized but intact. He processed the violence, integrated it, remained a functional human being. You can't do that. You've killed dozens, maybe hundreds, and you can't process any of it because processing requires emotional capacity that training systematically destroyed. This is the science of full-time warfare. Not tactics or equipment or training in weapons. Those are secondary. The primary science is discovering how to convert human beings into tactical machines and keep them functioning across decades of continuous violence. Rome solved that problem through systematic psychological destruction. The farmer-levy system never tried to solve it because preserving the humanity of your population mattered more than battlefield efficiency. The effectiveness question has two answers. Battlefield effectiveness, professional soldiers, always. They win because they've been conditioned to do things no sane human would voluntarily do. Human effectiveness, the ability to fight when necessary, then return to civilian life as a functional person. Farmer armies, because they never destroyed what made soldiers human in the first place. Rome built an empire on professional legions. They also created hundreds of thousands of psychologically broken men who could never reintegrate into society. The farmer-levy system produced less battlefield dominance, but sustained civilizations for millennia because it didn't require sacrificing entire generations to military conditioning. The science of full-time warfare isn't about superior training or equipment. It's about finding systematic methods to break human beings and rebuild them as instruments of violence. Rome perfected that science. The cost was measured in men who could never go home again, not because they died in battle, but because the people they used to be had been systematically erased. If this examination of what professional military service actually required has changed how you think about ancient warfare, subscribe to Mythbusting. We're investigating historical systems through the lens of human cost rather than celebrating victories. Understanding what these systems did to people matters more than comfortable myths about military excellence. What other historical institution should we examine by focusing on the human beings it consumed? Let me know in the comments.